CBS presents this program in color.
Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We think we have an exceptional show for you tonight.
Yes, I do. And I'd like to mention that two of our guests on the show tonight won a whole bunch of Grammy Awards this last week.
Oh,
Glen
wow.
Campbell won 4 Grammys for his recording By the Time I Get to Phoenix and Gentle on My Mind, one of which was the best male vocal of the year.
And John Hartford wrote the song Gentle on My Mind, and besides having a part in helping Glen win 2, he won 2 for himself. One is the best country and western song of the year, and the other is the best folk performance of the year.
So they'll be singing their award-winning hit, Gentle on My Mind, later on this show. You know, also I'm very proud to say that they'll both be part of our summer replacement show.
That's right.
Glen Campbell will be the host, and John Hartford will be a writer and performer.
And so tonight is sort of an award-winning preview of what the summer show will be like. The only difference is that Tommy and I won't be the stars.
It ought to be a great show.
Ought to be better.
It's the Smothers Brothers Comedy Hour with guest stars Glen Campbell, Jackie Mom's Mabley, John Hartford, Matt Paulson, the Jimmy Joy Singers, the Louis DeBron Dancers, and Nelson Riddle and his orchestra. From Television City in Hollywood, ladies and gentlemen, meet the Smothers Brothers.
Spring is almost upon us, and once again the symphony of songbirds will be heard far and wide. And the most famous place in the entire world to enjoy the sights and sounds of our fine feathered friends is in an English country garden.
That's right. So if you listen carefully as we sing, you will hear the symphony of the songbirds in the background, as each bird contributes its own harmonic and melodic tweetings to the proceedings. You might say that this song has gone to the birds.
You might say it, nobody else would.
Sorry I said it.
Okay, ready? How many songbirds fly to and fro in an English country garden? I'll tell you now of some that I know, and those I miss, you surely pardon.
Maybe I will and maybe I won't pardon you. Good enough, no mistakes.
Okay. Bobolink, bluebird and quail, tanager and cardinal, swallow and lark, thrush and nightingale. There is joy in the spring when the birds begin to sing in an English country garden. Oh, doesn't that sound lovely, Tommy?
Yeah, but you forgot
Robin, Robin, right. I forgot the robin,
and you forgot blue jays.
blue jay. I forgot the blue jays. Cockatoo, cockatoo. You forgot the cockatoo. Careful, I did not. Hold it, just a minute there.
I love the
Tommy,
sound of the cockatoo.
That's a rotten sound
Hart.
now.
It's
I didn't want them in the garden, you see. Now, why do you have to throw in a cockatoo?
Cockatoo.
No. Cockatoo. Stop it. Stop it right now. I don't want any crummy cockatoos in this garden, in this symphony. Do you understand? These birds are supposed to be songbirds. I don't want an ugly caw in a symphony. It doesn't sound good. Just strident and it's
Some birds don't sound as pretty as
That's
others.
right,
Ricky,
and they're
but
out.
That's no reason to
O-U-T,
discriminate against the
I wouldn't
birds.
discriminate against anything.
Don't just discriminate. This is a song of truth.
Oh,
the
yes.
birds. There's many birds, and they all come in the
Lots of
garden.
birds.
This is a song of truth, and
That's right.
They sing
But I don't
exactly
want-
like God made them sing.
Well, of course they
God
do.
made them sing.
I
that
didn't
way.
make the cockatoos
Don't
sing.
discriminate against them because
Okay, I will not discriminate against the cockatoos. Robin, blue jay, cockatoo,
hummingbirds and pigeon chews, woodpeckers, magpies and cuckoos. There is joy in spring when the birds begin to sing in English country garden. Oh, beautiful.
That's terrible.
You forgot chicken.
I know that. You said it before.
Chicken.
I know. I forgot the crummy chickens.
You forgot the chickens, didn't you? Vultures.
You gotta be kidding.
You forgot
Stop
the
it. I did not forget the vultures.
The sound of the vultures.
Oh, it's music to your ear. You gotta Don't hear then. The vultures are on rotten. They're worse than the cockatoos, Tommy. Now listen, they are a strange bird to have in a garden. That's as dumb as saying penguins.
Penguin, penguin, you forgot the penguins, and you forgot turkeys, ostriches, wrens, geeses, or gooses, and ganders. Oh, the sound, and seagulls, you forgot seagulls.
Now, Tommy, stop this right now. Is there any other bird you forgot to mention?
Just one bird I forgot.
What?
Ladybird.
Birds is beautiful animals. Lyndon says a bird in your bush is worth two in your shrub.
Ladies and gentlemen, my brother and myself feel that rock music... A little early on, just when the birds were coming out, one of them, didn't ignore the bombing pause and got... My brother and myself feel that the rock music of today offers a unique look at our current social problems and changes as no other art form does. And of the many exciting rock groups we've had on our show, there's been one in particular we've asked to have back again and again and again, because we feel they really have something important to say. And we will continue to have this rock group back again and again until we find out what they're trying to say. Right, Dickie? Now here is Mr. Pat Paulson to introduce that group. Pat Paulson.
Before we start the action, I'd just like to prepare you for yet another facet of our ever-consciously expanding spectrum as we continually probe the variable complexities of the ever-changing generation gap, which results in a lack of communication. Oh, my stars and garters. So tonight we'd like to shift gears and sing about the mothers, because we feel you kids don't understand your mothers. Sure, you see her around the house in her shabby house dress, but you don't know what she's really like until you see her at the Saturday night dance in her shabby party dress. I'd like to introduce the group at this time. You want to come out, guys? Ladies and gentlemen, this is Ernie Newton. Hi. Harry Stanton. Hi. Al Hopper. Yours truly, better known as the Fathers. Yes, kids, Mom's the real mother. You probably wouldn't think she was this wild, but she is. Just not very often or too long at one time. You know, you kids can learn a lot from your mothers. You talk about flower children spreading love. Well, look at Mother. She's a full bouquet of love and spreading fast. Just got to tell you one more thing, kids. You think you're the ones who invented miniskirts? Well, you should have seen what we saw during the flapper era. When they flapped, you really saw their eras, right, guys? So try and go with it, huh, kids? Okay, and
No, no, please don't.
My darling, this is going to hurt you more than it does me. Took one look at you. That's all I meant to do. And then my heart stood still. Oh. Tune ends, we're dancing in the dark. Yes, we have no bananas. We have no bananas today.
I always carry a chirp on my shoulder. There was a very, very groovy song written this year, and the song was Gentle on My Mind. It was recorded by Glen Campbell, and it is one of the greatest songs written this year. It has been nominated in 6 categories for this year's Grammy Awards. And we are very proud to say that 2 of our friends are directly responsible for its success. Tonight, we're very fortunate to have both of them on the show. Glen Campbell, the performer, John Hartford, the composer. Here they are together with song poem Gentle on My Mind.
It's knowing that your door is always open and your path is free to walk. That makes me tend to leave my sleeping bag rolled up and stashed behind your couch. And it's knowing I'm not shackled by forgotten words and bonds and the ink stains that have dried upon some line. That keeps you in
in the back roads by the rivers of my memory keeps you ever gentle on my mind.
It's not clinging to rocks and ivy planted on their columns now that bind me, or something that somebody said because they thought we fit together walking. It's just knowing that the world will not be cursing or forgiving when I walk along some railroad track and find that you're moving on the back roads by the rivers of my memory, and for hours you're just gentle on my mind.
The wheat fields and the clotheslines and the junkyards and the highways come between us, and some other woman crying to her mother 'cause she turned and I was gone. I still might run in silence, tears of joy might stain my face, and a summer sun might burn me but not to where I cannot see you walking on the back roads by the rivers flowing gentle on my mind. I dip my cup of soup back from the gurgling, crackling cauldron in some train yard. My beard a roughening coal pile and a dirty hat pulled low across my face. Through cupped hands round the tin can, I pretend to hold you to my breast and find that you're waving from the back roads by the rivers of my memory, ever smiling, ever gentle on my mind.
Right now, we'd like to bring back a wonderful lady who's been on our show several times this year, and she really breaks everything up. And I know you're going to be happy to see her again. So let's have a big hand for her. Moms Mabley! Well, Mom, it's great to have you back on the show.
Oh, it's nice being here, honey. You know, I'm telling you something, I've been swinging since I left here.
Oh, yeah?
You know, and to tell you the truth, boy, it's nice to be anywhere at my age.
Oh, you know that old saying that you're only as old as you feel, right?
Yes, that's what you can say, because you ain't got a wrinkle on your body. But, honey, listen to Mom.
Yeah.
When you ain't as old as you feel as old as you is.
Well, I guess you're right, you know, but you've really gone over big on this show. You know, you should see the stacks and stacks of letters, the people writing and raving about you. They just love you. But, you know, I might add that some of them ask the same question over and over again. They wanted to know, well, they were wondering if you've got any other clothes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
I got other clothes, but Mom likes to look her best when I'm on television. I owe that much to my public.
You sure do. I think you look fine. The fact is, we like you so much, Mom. We're thinking about making you a regular.
Regular what?
You know what I mean, a regular. It means you would work exclusively for us. Now, how would you like that?
Oh, I'd like that fine. It's all right with me, but you got to clear it with Miss Marcus.
Clear it with Mrs. Who is Miss Marcus?
That's the lady I go to on Thursday.
I think we'll work something out. So why don't you just talk to the folks, okay?
All right, son. Bless your pretty heart. Oh, Mom feels so good. I'm so glad to be back on the show again. Mom's been busy. I've been talking to my children, you know, my young children. I'm crazy about teenagers. They're Mom's friends. They buy my records. Them old people don't buy my Mom's records. No. They mad at me because I ain't getting that $48 a month. I can't live on no $48 a month. I go say, you handsome young man, $48, he beat me to death. But Mom been going to school, night school. I'm taking up languages, learning how to speak everything. Because if that old bum goes off, no telling what part of the world I'll be blown to. And wherever I am, I want to be down with it. I want to know what's happening. I just hope they don't send me to China. Too many people over there. Why, so many people, children born in China nowadays, until they done run out of names. You know how to name a baby when it's born in China now? They throw up a whole lot of silverware, and whatever noise it makes coming down, that's what they call it. Bling, dong, bong, bing, ding. A man was out riding on the freeway, and he met hitchhikers on the side of the road, one of the boys, you know, hitchhiking, so he picked him up. So they was driving along down the road, and the man was talking to him, said, where you going, son? He says, I don't know, man, anywhere you go is all right with me. So the man was talking to him, he passed the road he's supposed to turn off at. He said, oh my goodness, I done passed the road I supposed to turn off at. So I got to back up, I got to go down that road. So he told me, he said, look out and see if you see anything coming. So he looked out. He said, I don't see nothing but a dog. So the man backed out, and just as he hit the freeway, bam! Something hit him, knocked him through the windshield, cut his face and everything, broke his arm. He said, man, I thought you said you didn't see nothing coming but a dog. He said, yeah, man, but it was a greyhound. Woman was sick. She got very bad off. She was dying. Sent for her husband. Wanted to make a confession before she died. Her husband came up there crying. She said, honey, I'm dying. He said, yes, I know. She said, but I got a confession to make before I die. She said, I haven't been true to you. She said, I've been running around with other men. He said, yes, I know. That's the reason I poisoned you. That colored boy went to integrated school. Only one in the school. So they come up that evening for the spelling class and everything. Little Johnny sitting there with his little white shirt on, his little tie, looking all nice. So the teacher, the white teacher, so she looked over at one little boy and says, Jimmy, spell cat. Little Jimmy jumped up. The white boy says, C-A-T, cat. Says, that's right, that's nice, Jimmy. Looked at that little white boy and said, Tommy, spell rat. He said, R-A-T, rat. Said, that's good. He said, how? He said, Johnny, spell chrysanthemum. Johnny say, what color, white or pink? She said, pink. He said, P-I-N-K, pink. But you know, the woman's husband died and she brought him a nice casket, put on there, rest in peace. So that night they had to wake. I don't know where you all have wakes or not. What we do, that's where you go and talk about everybody and eat up all the food. So as they was at the wake, this woman was sitting over in the corner crying, my poor husband's gone. So another old mouthy woman went over to her. Somebody always want to start something. She walked over to her, she says, Mary, what you crying like that for? She said, my poor husband, I loved him so much. Surprise you, I wouldn't be crying like that. He went with other women besides you. She said, what? I said, yes, he did. I know what I'm talking about, honey. I know. So she called Undertaker. She says, Undertaker, said, can I have that rest in peace take off of that casket? He said, no, it's too late now. Said, well, can I add to it? She said, yeah, you can add to it. So she wrote on that, rest in peace until we meet again. Then another time, a colored fellow and a white fellow held up a bank down there. So they shot the bank teller, 2, 3 clerks, wounded a couple of women. So they sentenced them to be hung. So about a week before they were to be hung, this colored fellow was walking around in the cell whistling, singing St. Louis blues, and popping his fingers as happy as he could be. This white fellow sitting over in the corner crying. He said, I don't want to die. I don't want to be hung. I don't want to die. Please don't let them hang me. This colored fellow said, oh, shut up, man. So we done held up the bank and done killed up on them people, and you come talking about you don't want to die? So take it like a man, like I do. He said, that's easy for you to say, because you're used to it. The flame would never end. Without a mom, the road would never bend. A man is born, but son, you ain't got a friend. Not like a mom. Not like a mom. The fields of corn would never have seen a plow. The fields of corn would be deserted now. A child is born, but it ain't much good no how. Not without a mom. Not without a mom. I have my troubles and woes, but I know as sure as Jordan rolls that I'll get along as long as the song is deep down in my soul. I'll never know what makes the rain to fall. I don't know what makes the grass grow tall. But I know there ain't no love at all. Not like a moon. Not like a moon. Not like a moon. Not like a moon. Like a
Back with Glen Campbell and Pat Paulson on the second half of the Smothers Comedy Brothers Hour.
You know, a lot of people think that writers are just crazy, weird, impractical people. But of course, that's utter nonsense. For example, in this box here is an actual size photograph of a bust that was done by one of our writers, Mason Williams. And the bust is right there. It's an actual size reproduction. It's something that every artist should do. And one of these busts right now is hanging in the, currently in our exhibit in the Museum of Modern Art in New York. Now, Mason Williams also sings, plays the guitar, and he's a very fine songwriter. He wrote our theme song. Now, he's just recorded an album for Warner Brothers entitled the Mason Williams Phonograph Record. And tonight he's going to play a cut from that album, one of his own compositions, a classical guitar piece entitled classical gas. So, ladies and gentlemen, here's the big bus man himself, Mr. Mason Williams. Ladies and gentlemen, and members of the Smothers Brothers Comedy Hour, and distinguished guests, we are gathered here tonight to hear an important announcement. An announcement that we, as well as millions of Americans, have been waiting to hear. So, without further delay, it is my privilege to introduce our speaker for this evening, and he comes to you with a light heart. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Patrick Paulson.
Thank you, Dick, Tom, the entire Smothers Brothers Comedy Hour, and the vast affiliated stations, the Columbia Television Network, Thomas H. Dawson, President, and my fellow Americans. As I look over this large gathering, I find that I know a great many of you. Some personally, some by reputation, others by fear. I appreciate your courtesy in hearing me tonight, but let's not plunge right to the point. We live in a time of decision, a time of dissent, a time of de trouble obscene. 100 years from now, history will rear its ugly head and say, this was mankind's golden era. I'm sure you've been hearing the rumors that I was considering the possibility of running for the presidency of the United States. Up to this time, I've done my best to dispel these rumors, rumors of the worst kind, true rumors. In response to the overwhelming groundswell of public demand, realizing that each of us must share his abilities for the glory of flag and country, I will now give you my answer. Now I ask you, will I solve economic problems? Will I ease the causes of racial tension? Will I bring a peaceful end to the war in Vietnam? Will I improve America's foreign relations? Sure, why not? And most important, would I be your president? Let me say this about that. I'm honest enough to admit that I do have some drawbacks and disadvantages as a candidate. Although I am a professional comedian, some of my critics maintain that this alone is not enough. I cannot deny that I stand before you untested and inexperienced. I've spent only 2 years in television, never as a romantic lead or a song and dance man. Now that you know I'm a candidate, for those of you who may not be familiar with the other candidates and non-candidates, let me offer a factual, non-partisan analysis. My own affectionate favorite is Richard Nixon. This humble man has once again offered himself as a candidate on the basis of his experience, and I think we should accept him on that basis. After all, why go to the trouble of breaking in a new loser? Mr. Nixon has always managed to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. The other Republican candidate officially in the race is George Romney. However, his illusions of peace in Vietnam have indicated he would rather be right than Republican. There's a big campaign in California to nominate Ronald Reagan for the presidency. You also hear a lot of talk for Donald Duck. Some people are still booming Charles Percy as a possible candidate. But I ask you, could you hold your head up high and have any confidence in a leader named President Percy? The only other Republican hope is Governor Nelson Rockefeller of New York. He says that he will stay on as governor of New York. But that's a lot of garbage. Let us not overlook George Wallace, the mouth that roared. He says he's running because he wants to give the people a choice. And he wants the choice right there in black or white. So far, the only candidate running against President Johnston in the Democratic Party is Senator Eugene McCarthy of Minnesota. I do not believe that this man has a chance to win. How can he possibly win on such an anti-American platform? He has admitted he is a peace candidate. All over the country, people are still asking about Bobby Kennedy. Will he run for the presidency this year, or will he be content to wait until 1972? The answer is definitely, who knows? However, it is a known fact that he has 10 children. Therefore, I would like to take this opportunity to place the name of Robert F. Kennedy before you in nomination for the office of Mother Nature. That brings us to the final paragraph of this unbiased, nonpartisan hatchet job of leading presidential prospects. Last but perhaps least is the incumbent Lyndon Baines Johnson. Whatever we may think of him, and I think levity would be inappropriate at this time, let us be realistic. President Johnston and his critics are poles apart. The polls showed that only 3 people in the entire country would receive more votes than LBJ if the election were held today. William Jennings Bryan, Wendell Willkie, and Dizzy Gillespie. I must admit, President Johnston always hits the nail with his head. There you have it, the National Honor Roll for 1968. As for me, my campaign efforts will be limited to old-fashioned, honorable, stand-up, mud-slinging, and name-calling. I represent the straight-talking American Government Party, the Stag Party, dedicated to callous sports, barns, the incoming American people. In conclusion, I stand proudly before you tonight as a man unbound by political ties, a man free from the pressures of tradition and convention, a man who is an independent candidate. In other words, I'm nobody's fool.
Once again, Glen Campbell.
I've never known, a love I've never known. Hey, 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 little one, don't go away. Tell me you'll stay. Hey, 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 little one, I'm just like you. I'm so lonely too.
Campbell. That was beautiful. You know, it's going to be,
Thank you,
it's really going to be gas working with you this summer, too.
Well, I'm really looking forward to it, Tom. And
Well, wait a minute. You guys should explain, let everybody else into what, you know, what you're talking about. Oh. See, Glen Campbell is going to host the summer replacement show for the Smothers Brothers Comedy Hour.
I'm really excited about it, Tom. Oh, excuse me. I'm
Yeah.
really excited about it, and I just
Well, I hope you make it
want you to know that it's a big break for me. And
Well,
I
we
thank
hope you really
guys
make
for
it big, too. It's
Well,
really
thank
great being a star. You know, it's a wild, wacky, wonderful world of show business.
That's
you know?
right. The bright lights, the fame, the fortune,
The tensions, the bickering.
the glamour, and the women.
And the ulcer, and if you really make it big, the divorce.
Well, seriously, Glenn, there are a lot of pressures. You know, you'll be in front of millions of people. You'll be criticized. You'll have to fight the establishment. There'll be a lot of responsibility on those shoulders of yours. Now, do you think you think you can handle it?
Well, Dick, I know that I'm just going to try to do the best that I can.
You'll do fine. You already talk better than Dickie.
That's right.
No, seriously, you know, I've been watching you guys, and I've learned a lot, too, you know.
I learned not to watch us, that's right.
Now I know how to do things, you know, like say big things like things, and
be
how to be a
relaxed.
good host and be relaxed.
Right.
Fall down.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. By the way, are you Rowan or Martin?
Glenn, you're really a funny, zany character, you impetuous, wild, funny singer, you.
Okay, enough of that. Tommy, hey, and why don't you tell the folks and the people at home why we chose Glenn to host the summer show, right?
Well, we considered and we interviewed a lot of people for the star to replace the summer show, and many people, and all during these interviews, Glenn was the only one that came in to the interview naked. So,
well, that set him apart, naturally. And speaking of being naked, I think you dropped your pick, Glenn. You got to relax on the
almost
show.
dropped my guitar.
Okay, speaking of being naked, why don't we let him introduce this number, Cold, all by himself, right?
okay, take it, Glenn.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for smoggy air. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for Medicare. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for the New York Mets.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for our national debt.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for Governor Reagan, Lady Bird, and Eartha Kitt. Thanks for the highway beautification. Thanks a lot for censorship. You don't know how much they all mean. They seem better in my dreams. Thank you very much for love. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for love. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for the daily news.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for Howard Hughes.
Thank you very much.
For finger snapping, wiretapping,
Chocolate soda and Truman Capote.
napalm bomb, Vietnam.
Selective service makes me nervous. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for love. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for love. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much for the higher taxes. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the credibility gapses. Thank you very much.
Abominable snowman, poverty program, acid rock, Dr. Spock, Jeannie Dixon, Richard Nixon, Baby Jane, and Pat's campaign. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Woo!
Well, I'd like to say once again, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Our guest for tonight.
Very much. Thank you very
Well,
much.
thank you, Tom, and we'd like to thank our guests very much.
Thank you, Dick.
Thank you, Brother Tom. I want to thank you. We'd like to thank all
you more than anyone. You've been
No, I thank you more.
You've been my brother, and I want to thank you for being my brother. You have nothing to do with it, but I
know.
want to thank you for
I'd like to thank you for thanking me for being your brother. Since there was nothing I could do about it, I'd like to thank you once again for being my brother.
I'm responsible for you being my brother.
No, you had nothing to do with it.
Yes, I do.
You
I
were
said,
just a little
Mom, I
kid.
want a brother.
You couldn't even talk when I was...
I could not.
You can't say you could because you can't.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And we'd like to thank you for being a wonderful audience, and you out there for being a wonderful audience. And we'd also like to thank our wonderful guest for tonight, Glen Campbell, Moms Mabley, and John Hartford, and Pat Paulson and Mason Williams.
Give him a hand.
Before you tell them who's going to be on our show next week, we ought to mention that we're going to have some of the people behind the scenes.
Oh,
like
yes.
we've done. This is our 25th show of the year, and not very often do we get to bring out the people, some of the people that help make this show possible. Tommy and I just can't stand up here and do it. There's a lot of
great writers, singers, dancers.
A lot of intelligent help.
Directors and a lot of people involved. We're going to have a lot of them on the show.
We're going to have the
next
censors
week.
come out and do a dance.
Quicksand. Next week, our guests will be Glen Campbell and Dr. Joyce Brothers. So tune in and tune out.
Tune out. Right. We'll see you now. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Film for Gentle on My Mind by Group 1. Classical Gas was previously recorded. Also appearing in tonight's show, Gino Conforti. This is Roger Carroll. The Smothers Brothers Comedy Hour was brought to you by Ford and the better idea cars for 68.